Hello, I'm in TSUBAME-SANJO Interchange. That's where I am at the TSUBAME-SANJO Interchange. It's in Niigata Prefecture. I've made a lot of ground since last week. And yeah, I got a lot to tell you. I don't even know where to start. The last 24 hours have been a ride, literally. I got picked up, where was I? So I was in Kanazawa and I got dropped off at a place that I didn't want to go to. It was hard to get a ride out, and then eventually I got a person who took me to Toyama. I spent one day in Toyama to the Tateyama Alpine route, which I showed you live a couple of days ago. And then yesterday morning I left, and I guess you can see this on the Only in Japan Go channel. I left Toyama at the interchange, and somebody picked me up and took me back to Route 8, old Route 8, which goes up towards to Niigata. And the reason why the highway was bad, and I was on the highway, was because people don't have money to take the highway. They take the local roads. I didn't know that. At the local roads, 24 hours ago, a very, very special ride stopped. The two of them, they stopped, pulled into the convenience store, picked me up and said if it was dogs okay, were dogs okay? And I said sure. And they had a dog in the back, a beautiful Labradoodle. A Labradoodle is from Australia. It's an allergy-free dog. And I got in the back of the car. We were heading straight towards this. I had to change my sign to a local area, to Itoigawa. And we got to Itoigawa and they said, hey, do you want to go to Hakuba? Do you want to come with us to Hakuba? You can spend the night in our beso. We have a second house there. I said, sure, why not? Hakuba is nowhere near the route that I wanted to take. It's in the mountains in Niigata, very famous for skiing. So I went to their house and had two amazing adventures, both of which are on the Only in Japan Go channel. I broadcasted that live on the Only in Japan Go channel. Then this morning I flew the drone around Hakuba with beautiful white-capped mountains, and they drove me today with 4 of their dogs to this place, TSUBAME-SANJO. And I'm now hitchhiking at the interchange. It's only about a, 25-minute drive to Niigata City, which would be nice, but I want to go to Akita. That's where Tohoku is, and that's where I can take a break and explore Akita in a little bit more detail. But first, I gotta get a ride. So behind me, you can see the ETC. ETC is like Fast Pass. It's a way to use the highway with a, I don't know how they do it, infrared maybe, but it charges your car, automatically takes the money away, and you can go onto the highway. If I can get a ride on the highway and a truck stops, I could probably get to Akita. And that's a major, major ride because it's a 4-hour drive. Any questions? Are you totally lost? Probably totally lost. If you are, I've been hitchhiking for the last 3.5 weeks, and I have about 10 days to go before I finish the trip. I'll be in Hakodate on the 27th. I have a Kickstarter project where you can buy the DVD of this trip. It's gonna be awesome. Just the experiences that I've had up to this point, I can already see this is an epic, epic trip. These live streams, if you don't like the live streams, will stop at the end of this month. And you can go to the Only in Japan Go channel for live streaming. That's the plan anyways. And if there's a special situation, I will live stream on the Only in Japan main channel, which is what this is. But for the most part, all of the live streaming will go to the Only in Japan Go channel. And if you haven't subscribed to the Only in Japan Go channel, please do, because there's some amazing stuff that you will see if you go onto the channel now, from live streaming from one of the most beautiful onsen baths that I've ever been in. That's just in the middle of nowhere. A Buddhist monk just basically put a pipe in the ground, took water out naturally, and made a bathtub all along the river, and built a little house around it. And that was his onsen. And only locals knew about that. That's made it really special to me. So that's the Only in Japan Go channel. And speaking of going, I gotta get going because it's about what time is it? What time is it? It's 4:15, so there's not that much daylight. Oh, here's a picture of the two really nice people who picked me up. So you see? And I stayed in their their second home, and we had dinner. And I slept there. They went back to their main home. I had the base all to myself in the woods of Hakuba, which was just so awesome. Very, very special people. I was really sad to say goodbye. They left me here. This is an awesome situation for hitchhiking. They left me here, and I'd been 24 hours with them, and this is why I'm doing this trip. Just we made a really close connection. I felt really sad to see them go, and that's saying a lot, because I have to say goodbye to a lot of people on this trip that picked me up and did something really kind for me. And that adventure for the last 24 hours that we shared together really meant a lot to me. And you know, I'll be back to Hakuba to visit them, because they're just one of the loveliest people that I know here in Japan. And I wouldn't have met them. It's sort of like fate, right? When you're out on the road and you don't know who's gonna stop. Everything has led to this point. All the rides who took me to that spot at that time led them to stop and pick me up and spend 24 hours together and make really good friends with very special people. I wouldn't have seen Hakuba if it wasn't for, I guess, destiny or fate. And I don't know if you believe in that sort of thing. It just seemed like the timing had worked out perfectly, where they stopped and I happened to be at that intersection, and I had the most amazing 24 hours. I can't explain how cool the last 24 hours were. All right, now, here's the sign. I made this yesterday. Niigata City, which is 25 kilometers away, and I'd love to go here. This is the dream destination. And I wrote down here, Homen. Homen means direction, okay? So I'm gonna broadcast for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so until the battery dies, or until I get picked up, or until this gets extremely boring. Let's do it. Hitching out of TSUBAME-SANJO. Onegaishimasu. There's a traffic light about 100 meters away, and the cars curve. The cars curve over to this point. You can see the curve, and then they come in. This really is a good situation. The train station's over there. There's 5 hotels. There's another Route 8 that's a local road that I could take. There's loads of restaurants. There's even a toilet right there. I mean, it can't get more perfect than this. And this lane is closed, so if somebody wants to stop and pick me up, which is one of the most critical things with hitchhiking. One of the most critical things with hitchhiking is if there's no place for the car to stop to pull in, they're not going to be able to pick you up. But this is so perfect because they're slowing down before they enter the highway, and there's a place where they can stop. So I'm liking this spot. It's just I have daylight against me. There's probably about an hour of hitchhiking I can do before I have to call it quits. I have a general rule. If headlights go on and it gets dark, I quit because it's getting hard to see and it gets a little dangerous. And nobody wants to pick up a hitchhiker at night, even in Japan. That's my sort of a rule that I have. I don't hitchhike at night or at twilight. tell where they're going, our general idea, by their license plate. I saw 2 Niigatas, 1 Toyama, and 1 Akita. So I'm seeing number plates, license plates that have Akita on it, which is a good sign for me. I have a GoPro attached to the top to film, but I'm gonna put that away. If you're a supporter on Patreon, I'm gonna be doing a live stream tomorrow for question and answers. I didn't get a chance to do that yesterday. I apologize to the Patreoners for not being able to broadcast, but tomorrow I will do one. I will do a live stream, and it will be fantastic. The question is, where will I be doing the live stream from? From Niigata, or from Akita, or from somewhere else? I didn't even think about that. If you're watching this and you live in Akita or Niigata, is there a place in between the two cities that you think is interesting that I should stop? If you think so, leave me a comment, and I'll consider it, because I want to see as much stuff as I can. Wait for the traffic light. Yeah. Ah, here they come again. I can see the guy. I can see it was a business guy. I could see he's looking and doing a double take, and he's thinking about whether or not he wants to stop. I think he wanted to stop. Really, with this, it's like you really don't know who's gonna stop. People have come from all different walks of life, and that makes this trip so interesting to me, because I'm learning so much about so many different things. People that work in factories, work in offices, people who don't work. A guy once picked me up who was a pachinko master. Another guy who picked me up was a professional bicycle racer. On this trip, there was a guy who ran a marathon. So that's a reason to do this type of trip. If you ever want to know a lot about Japan, the inner workings, you have to meet the people, and it's really hard to do that, I think, if you have a train pass or a bus. But this, I literally have learned so much more than I ever could have dreamed to learn about from the people on this trip. But I've learned, though, one thing that's changed compared to 14 years ago is why they stop. One thing that's different about this trip is why they stopped. 14 years ago, I think a lot of people stopped out of curiosity because they wanted to talk to a foreigner. They were just curious. Now people are stopping because they just want to help more. They feel like they want to help me, and if they help somebody, something good will come to them. I feel that's sort of a difference between 14 years ago and now. People were stopped more out of curiosity. People now are stopping more out of just kindness and a good feeling that they get when they help somebody. And that makes me feel pretty good that I was in a situation where I could help them feel good about themselves, I guess. I think she so wanted to stop as well. She's looking and thinking, should I stop or not? A lot of these license plates look like they're going in my direction. Looking good. My spidey senses say someone's gonna stop really soon. The last ride, the two nice people who brought me here, they also bought me dinner, and they bought me. I'll tell. Well, here come the cars. On the way here, we stopped and. We stopped and had crabs. We had the most amazing Sea of Japan crabs. And if you go into the Instagram page, the Only in Japan TV Instagram page, you can see the crab that I ate. It's amazing. And it was so cheap for the crabs, massive crabs like that. They were like I think they were less than 1,000 yen each. I had 2 of them. problem is when people buy me stuff, it's not like I'm poor or anything. They buy me dinner or lunch, and you know, I don't want to refuse it, and I don't want to say I don't want to pay. But I don't know. It's a tough situation. I want to pay, but yet I don't want to offend them. It's hard. You have to make that decision. Somebody does a random act of kindness, like when somebody does super chat on here, when somebody buys your DVD, like there's so many kind things that are happening to me on this trip, and it really is changing my life. I don't know. It's hard to talk. It's hard to talk about, but I came out here for adventure, and what I found is just how many nice people there really are out there. And the more I watch the news when I'm at home and all the stuff that's happening around the world, and then I come out here and I do a trip like this, I'm really just moved by it all. And I haven't been following the news at all for the last 2 weeks. I know that there's been like things from North Korea and stuff happening in the US and things all around the world happening. I don't focus on that, and I've been focusing on the people, and the people have been focusing on me for the last 3 weeks. And I have to tell you right now, I've never been happier in my life. And the news that I'm getting is the kindness of people still exists. It still exists. I mean, we focus so much on bad stuff, I think, on the news. I just haven't seen that at all. And for the last 3 weeks, I've had some tough times, but I've had just an incredible experience. And I've been thinking about that a lot recently. When I'm at home just editing the videos and I'm focused on my stuff just at home, the daily schedule, I'm also watching the news, and I do feel the negativity. And out here, when I've just totally pushed the news out of my mind and kind of put it to the side and focused on people, put my smartphone away except when I'm live broadcasting, and just focus on hitchhiking, I am so happy. I don't know if you can see it in me right now. Just the kindness of people, it rubs off on me, and I hope it rubs off on them as well. And that human to human connection with the rides that I make, it really has had a big impact on me. I know it's cheesy to talk about this, but it's just something on my mind. I've also had about three or four cups of coffee today. That'll make you happy. A lot of things go through your mind when you're standing here with a cardboard sign on the highway. There's not much else to do except for think, smile. Feel like utterly, like completely thankful. I'm here because of the kindness of strangers. I'm here because of strangers. But we're really not strangers. I don't know. We're people. And if you ever want to do something that will humble you, YouTube. Become a YouTuber. You'll be humbled. Hitchhike. You'll be humbled by the kindness of people. Nothing makes me more. Oh. Nothing makes me more excited than when somebody stops. When I said that, somebody stopped, but it's for different reasons. This is humbling. This is why I'm in Japan. This country is really amazing. If you lose something, I lost my drone. This is a story. I don't know if I told you this story. I lost my drone in Iwakuni about 2.5 weeks ago. I left it near the bridge because I couldn't use the drones. I accidentally left it there, and 2 hours later, I noticed that it wasn't on my shoulder. I panicked, I freaked out, and I was searching for it for about an hour, and then I went to the nearest koban, or police box, and I filed a lost items report, and they called the headquarters, the head office, head police station, and they had my drone. Somebody had turned it in. Somebody had turned in my drone. It's a $1,600 drone. Somebody turned in my drone. They found it. They brought it not to the local police station, but to the head police station, because they knew that the lost and found will be open all night. They brought it, and the guy who found it, he left his name and address, and the policeman told me if I feel like it, to send him something or write him a letter, and I'm when I get to Hokkaido, I'm gonna send him something. There's so many really delicious foods in Hokkaido. I'm gonna send him something really special. Every time I get out the drone, I think about this guy who turned it in, because I would not have the drone at all if he didn't turn the drone in. And when I got it back, I'd never felt like so much relief, and I'd never felt so much appreciation of where I live right now, because it's just a miracle in a way that you can get your stuff back. You could do something stupid, lose an item of value, and you'll get it back. Only in Japan. That's the highway patrol. If I was doing something illegal or not supposed to be here, they would have let me know. That's the highway patrol. So I'm legally okay to hitchhike here. I told you that, you know, it's legal to hitchhike in Japan because about 3 times police cars have passed me, and sometimes they wave. So why don't they stop and pick me up and take me to somewhere? Except for jail, I'm cool with anywhere. I can see the cars hesitating. They sort of want to stop, some of them. Maybe I should move up a little bit, and then that gives them a little bit more time to stop. I guess, you know, I'm gonna consider doing that. I like live streaming like this. I feel like I'm not alone out here. Feels like we're doing this together. Except I'm doing all the talking. I considered that, giving my phone number out and just letting people call me, and you know, sharing it that way. That might be fun. I hold the sign up high because the trucks can see it easier. The cars can see it easier. And if I hold it like this, it looks like I'm not working hard enough. I want to want them to think I'm really working for this. Michael Jackson's pretty popular here still, so maybe that'll do. Bring some magic. There's a car stopped over there. She's talking on the phone and it's sort of cramping my style. You see? Can you see that? She's right here. Move along, there's nothing to see and do here. Oh boy. All right. I've got about 30 minutes left, really, until it gets too dark. It's starting to get dark already. I can see the sun is it's right on the horizon. Ah. Truck. Please, truck. Please, trucks. I love you, truck. You're trucking awesome. I can see the North Alps of northern Japanese Alps in the distance over there. Let me see. Let me give you a little tour, because you've been in it with me too. So let me turn it around. You can see over there. There's some of the Japanese North Alps. Yeah, behind the signs, and there's. It says welcome to Sanjo. I don't know why it's shaking so bad. Welcome to Sanjo. That's part of this area. Sanjo's famous Sanjo is famous for making knives, and it's sort of like seki when I did the Hamono festival. Except this is a different area of Japan that does that. They make knives and swords and forks and spoons and cups and plates. Ah, Toshima. All right, folks, I'm gonna cut it off here. So, Mom, if you're watching, I got a ride. Don't worry about me tonight. See ya.